What small choice you made changed your life? My dad asked me to go with him to take my sister to dance one morning. I wasn't dressed and it's boring, so said no. They died in a car crash on the way home. I think about it that about 100 times a day. Decided to take a different route home one day and stumbled upon a little coffee shop. Met the owner, got to talking, and ended up with a job offer. That job led to a career shift I never planned but absolutely love. All because I was bored of my usual commute and craved a different view. Proof that sometimes, the scenic route really does pay off. Pity instead of anger. I used to have some severe anger issues. Just angry at everything and everyone. Everything pissed me off, everyone aggravated me. I had a therapist that worked with me on a meditation technique of pondering the things that pissed me off or made me angry the most and then working from the anger to pity. For instance, I held on to deep-rooted and very justified anger towards my dad. In my meditation, when I would think about my dad in childhood and as my thoughts and memory wandered and I felt myself getting angry, I would refocus my thoughts to pity for him. He has severe mental illnesses. He is probably lost in his own chaos of a mind and is always feeling alone and angry at himself. Changing the thoughts from animosity and anger to pity and feeling sorry for him. After a couple decades of this practice, it has become the default thought process. When I see someone doing something shitty, my first thoughts are no longer, what a piece of shit, or I hate it when people do that, but now is, I wonder what drove them to this, or that must be horrible for them to live that way and think that way. I am a much happier person now and have much healthier social interactions with pity and empathy rather than anger and fear. Lessen soda consumption and ditching it entirely. My belly gradually disappeared. The fun part is once you've gone long enough without sugary drinks, you won't be able to go back. They taste like drinking pancake syrup. It's overpoweringly sweet and I just can't stand them anymore. I drink water, coffee, and sometimes tea with a little stevia. Giving up drugs and alcohol, while my social life has gotten a little more boring, it's nice not feeling fried or hungover from substances and I feel my brain healing. If social connections don't survive without alcohol/drugs, it makes you wonder how much our previous social lives was really just getting inebriated in parallel with others. Edit, typo. Stop caring what people think so much. Everyone's going to have an opinion of you and you can't please everyone. Choosing to eat to live, instead of living to eat. I agreed to help score a cricket match just after COVID because I was going crazy stuck in my house. I was terrible at it, but came back the next week anyway. Now I have a whole new group of people who are fun and supportive and challenge me to do more and better things. I was in such a dark place before, and now I have a whole future and a big group of friends. It sounds so silly, but just saying yes to that one thing got me out of a rut and back on a beautiful path. I was engaged at 24, we called it off, a mutual decision. She went on to eventually marry and have 2 kids and raised a beautiful family. I moved out of state, worked for 3 beverage companies that all ended up getting bought. Not retirement money, but allowed me to travel, live in full amenity lofts in downtowns and go to every concert festival I wanted. I realized I wasn't the family person and glad we didn't get in a situation that would have been detrimental to everyone, especially if we got married and had kids. 24 years ago I decided to get coffee before a job interview, which put me in the situation of a car accident. I missed my interview appointment, so I applied at the restaurant where I was waiting for the tow truck. The manager hired me on the spot, and on my first night I met another server who told me that when I walked in he told the manager he was going to marry me. 1 year later my oldest son was born. I think of this often. Every day we wake up and our whole lives can change. Sometimes a blessing, other time a curse, but it creates a sense of adventure to acknowledge this and be curious every day. Who knows, maybe missed interview is the greatest thing that will ever happen to you. Stop having a messy room. I swear having a clean room will give you an overall more positive and motivated mindset. 25 years old, working as a waitress/bartender for 5 years, went down to the local community college one late August day to just get some information about how to become a nurse. Sat down and talked with the professor, who before I could even think about it or change my mind, signed me up on the spot, and a year later, boom, I was an LPN. Fast forward 6 years later I was an RN, now it's 30 years later and I'm still at it. But it gave me a good life, and the ability to save for retirement, hopefully in 18 months. Choosing to attend a local networking event unexpectedly connected me with someone who offered me a life-changing job opportunity. As someone who was both looking to start a business/side hustle, courier and notary, and has crippling social anxiety, I needed to read this today. There's a networking event coming up a friend wants me to attend, and I've been trying to psych myself up to go. This helped. I'm glad this resonated with you. Remember, taking that first step can be tough, but it can also open up so many opportunities. You've got this, and attending the event could be a great way to start building your business. Good luck, and don't be too hard on yourself. Every little step forward counts. Sitting at a table opposite of a 13-year-old boy when I was 12. I waved at him with my stuffed teddy bear to say hi because the boy looked bored. 41 years later, I'm typing this as he sleeps quietly next to me. Life has been a wild ride, but that remains one of the most impacting choices I will ever make in life. Edit. Becoming a mom to my stepkids. When I began dating their dad, their biological mom had sadly passed away few months prior, and when I began dating their dad the second I first held them, they were 4 months old when I met them. Something awoke in my heart. To this day they're now 16 and I'm still with their dad. They don't refer to me as their stepmom, they just call me mom, but they know the truth of what happened to their biological mother. Less people pleasing. It was hard but worth the effort. I'm not sure where it's from originally, but upon offhand mentioning it was a people pleaser, a friend sent me a screenshot of a post reading something to the effect of, "Oh, you're a people pleaser? Name 4 people that are pleased with you." Really put into perspective that by trying to please everyone I was pleasing nobody, and in some cases actively damaging myself or relationships with others. I still have a tendency to go out of my way to make sure people are happy, but I have much more stringent qualifications for who I will do it for and for which reasons. Life is so much better when you have a spine. I think deciding to change my attitude is what made a big difference in my life. I decided to put a positive spin on life and try to be happier. It might sound stupid, but life is an attitude. And a person can decide if they want to be miserable or happy. I don't know how small of a choice, but I was standing in a room full of people and looked through the door, and like tunnel vision I saw my future wife. I didn't know her, she was a little blonde just looking at me stirring her drink in a black dress. That was in February. We were married in July, and we are still going 28 years strong. As the DRs have told us, she has maybe 23 months left. Cancer is a horrible thing. I don't regret a minute of our lives together. I used to go to an alternative high school away from all the friends I grew up with. I was also working a part-time construction job while going to school. One day we got rained out on the job site and I got off work early. I was near my old high school and decided to swing by and say hi to my friends during lunch. One of the school principals noticed me and asked what I was doing there. I was not allowed on school grounds since I was no longer a student and was asked to leave. I made up this BS story about was asked to leave. I made up this BS story about how I was really there to transfer back to that school, and they said, "Oh, you need to speak to counselor so-and-so," and left me alone. Anyways, lunch ends, I said bye to my friends and head over to the vending machines to grab a pop on my way out. As I'm heading out the front door, this guy approaches me and introduces themselves as the counselor the principal mentioned. I followed him into his office and he gave me a list of everything I needed to do to transfer back to my original high school. I literally studied my ass off and got all my high school credits caught up, transferred back to my original high school the last 6 months of 12th grade, and graduated with a regular high school diploma with all my friends. There were a few things that happened that day that kind of all culminated together, but yeah, definitely a day I look back on and think about often. A friend of mine jokingly put a profile of me on an internet dating site. When I found out, I went on to delete it and found a message in the profile inbox. Figured I'd be polite and answer explaining the situation. In September we have our 6th wedding anniversary. Go to a doctor really early. I was diagnosed with a cancer. It's amazing what the newer treatments can do. Mom lived pain-free for 15 years with multiple cancers. She died willingly after 6 months of pain. She got to meet and enjoy my adopted son. In high school I actively trained myself to stop saying "oh, I'm dumb" whenever I made a little mistake or missed something obvious. If I ever did say it through force of habit, I would immediately turn around and say "no, you're not dumb." I don't think I knew at the time how important that was or how that would serve me later in life, but I am so grateful to that oftentimes more confident version of myself. No one gave me the idea to do that, I just thought on my own that I shouldn't be talking to myself like that. And I still don't. Starting to meditate daily, it really helped me stay calm and focused.